Do It Molds not only offers historically popular Jig Head molds, but they continue to design new molds featuring some of today's most popular Jig Head designs. One of the biggest advantages of pouring your own jigs is that you can create jigs with the sizes and styles of hook you prefer. Most jig molds can accommodate a range of hooks, and all can be modified to accept other sizes and styles. The choice is yours when you pour your own.
Roundhead jigs are the most popular jig head used in all types of fishing. Do It offers a variety of roundhead molds that have barb collars, double barb collars, ball collars, reverse barb collars, and collarless roundhead jigs. They even make molds that feature recessed eye sockets for adding 3D stick-on lure eyes. On the inside of every mold, Do It has permanently etched in the type and size of hook that should be used in the mold. In this mold, for instance, it says, I can pour 1/4 and 1/8 ounce jigs. It also says I can use size 1 or 1/0 hooks, and it says use Eagle Claw style 570 or 575 jig hook. These molds are made of aluminum and can easily be modified to accept different hook sizes and designs. For instance, I may want to mold a 2/0 hook in a 1/4 ounce jig head mold. Simply use a handheld grinder type tool to increase the size of the hook slot, allowing you to fit the exact hook you want. Of course, modifying the mold voids the warranty. Okay, let's pour some jigs. I'm going to preheat this mold. Again, we're going to be inserting hooks into these molds, so you want to make sure your mold is nice and warm. Hey, check this out, man. This is a mold, a roundhead jig mold that has poured 1 million jig hooks, and it's still in perfect working condition. That's pretty awesome. You're gonna get your monies out of these molds, that's for sure. Hey, another cool thing I'll show you quick while we're waiting for that mold to heat up are these hooks. Now these are Eagle Claw hooks designed to fit into these molds. I'm going to use all 1/0 hooks today, but it's these laser sharp hooks were super sharp hooks, and they got chartreuse colored, the popular red colored. A lot of the professional fishermen are swearing by this red colored hook, and this new, fairly new color is called the crawfish color. So instantly I can pour my jigs. I have instant access to the exact hook I want. It's pretty great. Well, let's pour a couple of these. Again, I'm going to be pouring 1/4 and 1/8 ounce jig head molds, and I'm going to mix them up. We might as well, since we got the hooks here. I'm just going to load this mold up. I'm going to use, what the heck, use a variety of these colors. They're all the same size, they're just a little different colors. So we'll put in the crawfish, mix it in with a little red. One of my favorites. You know, the cool thing about these colors, I mean, these are all, they do have some natural shine to them. So these hooks can serve as an attractant when you're out there fishing. These are naturally have some good shine to them, and that's the cool thing about these colored hooks. Before, when we just used bronze hooks or black hooks, we were probably trying to camouflage the hook. Well, now we're using the hook as an attractor, so that is really cool. And you get out there, and now you have all these hooks. We'll pour multiple ones of these, and it can make a big difference. Well, I've seen where the fish are going, and all of a sudden, say a green hook, if I'm fishing for perch, you'll notice a difference, and when it makes a difference, it makes a big difference. We'll go back to red here. That's a fail-safe color there. Cool. No, we're just about loaded here. It does take a little longer to load, when you're pouring sinkers. That's a pretty quick process. You do have to insert these. It takes a little longer, but we're actually, we have about $3 worth of jigs sitting right there. What you want to do is you're going to close the mold now. Now I'm going to listen for a distinct sound, which is these two plates clapping together. Sounded right to me. But normally, if you didn't get the hook in there, this won't close all the way. It will not close all the way, so you'll have a little gap. So you want to watch out for that. So that's good to go. I'm going to put my gloves on here quick. Grab the mold tight. She's all hooks ready to go. Mold's closed. 4 times. These smaller jigs, you're going to get a little extra excess, but that's no problem. Again, it all goes back into the melter, so Baby should be ready to go. Perfect. Again, just peel these out of here. Grab it by the sprue. You don't want to grab the jig head with the pliers, it'll ding it up. Just grab the excess sprue and actually use the sprue with the pliers and twist the jig. Perfect. Okay. So that's your classic round head jig mold. Let's step it up a notch. Take a look at this jig mold. This baby has detailed baitfish scales, a gilt plate, an eye socket where we'll later be able to have like 3D eyes put right on the jig. It even has baitfish lips. It's really an impressive jig, and again, a jig you can make from home. Another cool part, as we mentioned, is you can load these babies up with high quality hooks. Let's do that. I'll make you a couple, show you the details. It's amazing. I always take my gloves off too when you're handling hooks. You reach over here and you'll get them. You're just not very efficient at getting these loaded up. It takes enough time out of your day, putting these hooks in here. So just take them off quick, load them up, and put your gloves back on. It's just a better system than being lazy. Let's pour a couple here. Sprue's cool. Time to open the jig mold. Whew! Doesn't get any better than that. That's perfect. Jig's still hot. Grab a hold of the jig, not on this bait. Grab a hold of the jig, bend it back and forth. That's really impressive. That is one of my favorite molds. Hey, let's really make something happen here. This is the poison tail jig. And what this entails is obviously insert a hook. It also has a weed guard, which can either be molded right in the jig, say you're gonna airbrush, or it has a little insert here, which allows you to plug the weed guard temporarily if you're going to powder paint. So like a powder paint where you dip the jig into the powder and it actually paints the jig head. So there's two methods here. We'll show you both of them. Okay, let's get cracking. Couple of hooks. Again, inside the mold, it tells you everything you need to know. Hook size for the appropriate jig weight. Put that in there. I like to put the hooks in first and then I'm going to mold the weed guard right in this round. Those go in. I put those in second. And they just fit. You'll see it. There's a slot here for them. And you actually insert that plastic up in the mold. Again, that sets up pretty fast, and it's not gonna melt these plastic guards. So that one, I'm going to put that one in a little deeper. Close your mold. Now you won't hear that classic clack like you usually do, because it does have to fit in there. You're fitting in the weed guard and the hook, but if you look at your mold, it's tight, so this baby's ready to go. My gloves back on here quick. Be bass fishing shortly. What we got? Whew, man, just beautiful. And that lead, it gets down into that mold. Let's see. This hooks. Gets down into that mold and just form fills perfectly. Now I have the weed guard molded right into the jig perfectly, and also has room to tie. If I want to put a rubber skirt on here, it has a holder on there, a keeper, and a collar. If I want to tie a bucktail and add rubber, I mean, it's all, this is ready to go. It's just the perfect mold, and you can keep casting. I like to pull up on the bend of this hook, and again, pulling that here. It's going to take a little more effort to get them out of there, but there's a little more to this jig than just the classic round head. So take your time. Boy, it's just really impressive what comes out of that mold. Okay, we're going to pour one more round of this same jig, only this time we're going to use the base hole pins. Now the reason you'd want to use these base hole pins is if you're going to like powder paint your jigs. You can heat up the jig, dip it in the powder, it's painted, and then you can add the weed guard after the fact and glue it in there. So this actually is a pin that just fits right in the mold. There's already, it's precast to hold these pins. Put them in there, grab your jig hooks. insert them where they need to be, and pour your jig. It's relatively simple. That is perfect fit. I'm gonna put my gloves back on. I like doing this. I mean, I really do like powder painting. It's so easy. I will airbrush a few jigs, but for the most part, that powder paint, that gives you one color. You can dip those. It's really fast and easy, and it adds enough color to the baits I'm using. It's exactly what I'm looking for. So there you go. Now these come out. Again, we'll just remove this for you. There's the pin where the weed guard was. You want to remove that. That's not hard to remove. Pulls right out. Now there's the hole in the jig, which the weed guard, which is here, can be inserted in there after you paint it.